Welcome to the Raj Kotecha Show, #1 podcast in Dubai, and it is a special episode, of course, as we do every week, called ALGO. ALGO stands for a lot going on, and in today's episode, we have Vik.
Hello.
And local deaf guy, Alex.
What's up?
I got introduced before you
Right?
this time.
Yeah, it's a real power shift.
Yeah.
And you guys are synchronized in terms of colors as well.
Kinda, yeah.
How?
Yeah, they just complement each other.
He wishes he looked as
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
In me, it's the usual all black Amongst Few
All
t-shirt
black.
as always. So speaking of Amongst Few, I managed to cut about a month's worth of incense from these guys. So I'm going to be burning that all this week. And big shout out to Tonic, who have sent me so much immunity boosting powders, which contain magnesium, vitamin C, zinc, all that stuff. They sent too many. So hopefully I should never get sick again. And before we start again, one shout out to Caitlin at Quantrell. She sent me this box. I've not opened it. I'm going to open it now. Definitely sounds like there's some booze in there. The original margarita was created in 1948. So this is obviously about margaritas. She sent limes, some white powder,
Himalayan pink salt.
and a bottle of Cointreau. So thank you to her.
Damn.
We appreciate that.
Dope.
She also sent some more gifts. Maybe. Let's see what's in here. I guess this is the stuff that you mix with it. What's that? Oh, tequila. Casamigos.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you to her for
Nice
sending
bottle.
that. That's so nice.
Shot.
And a bunch of cool stuff to make cocktails with. So we will ask our friend Peter, the gentleman, or Nana, to come round and help us with that. So thank you guys for the gifts. We really appreciate it. Okay, without any further ado, let's get into the show. Okay, let's review the last week. What happened?
Cool. So point number 1 is the debrief from Papa.
Yeah, so debrief from Papa was good. So for those of you who were listening last week, we went over to Papa to debrief the event that we did. The numbers were great. They were very happy. They want to do another one.
Yeah.
We are now debating internally, do we want to do another party? From my perspective, I don't have party energy in me right now.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily want to DJ again, but there's a great option with them, and there's a great option with some other venues as well. So there was a lot of people that could not make Papa, and they reached out. So I'm really grateful to you guys, and we will let you know if we want to do another one before the end of the year. You're traveling when? 26th?
25th, 26th, yeah.
And you're back during Ramadan.
2nd, 3rd of April.
Does that mean that we can't, that if we do a gig, it has to be before you travel?
Either before or after, yeah.
But
during
after would be
doesn't
Ramadan.
make sense, yeah.
Yeah.
So it'd have to be before.
Can
Which
you
is
throw a
like in
party
3
during
weeks.
Ramadan?
I don't know what the rules are now. I mean, obviously a lot of the places are more open during Ramadan now, but you're suggesting
Yeah,
that.
I still wouldn't.
Wouldn't go near it, eh?
Yeah. Just
Okay.
wait till after, like.
The good thing is the festivities wrap up first week of May, and then
Yeah.
May is still a reasonable time to do something like that. So we will let you know on that front for anybody who's still trying to figure out if we're going to do another party or not. But at the moment, just so that everyone can plan their schedules accordingly, probably no nighttime parties. My friends, your friends, is still very much in the mix, so we'll keep you updated about that.
Cool.
Next.
The Wealth Room event on Tuesday.
Yes, shout out to Greg, and who else was involved in that one? Kelly, shout out to her, and everybody else who came over and said nice things. This week on Tuesday,
we went, yeah.
On Tuesday, we went over to Dubai Hills, the Hill House Brasserie, where the Wealth Room had organized this talk of a couple of people, a couple of guest speakers. Greg, one of the organizers, was one of them, and then there was our other friend who I'm meeting, Tony,
Yeah.
who talked about crypto, and then myself, and I spoke about the State of the Union when it came to content. Great talk, amazing people in the room. So nice to be, it's always nice to be recognized. So many people from the My Friends, Your Friends community were in the room that came over and said hello. A few people that I'm connected to on Instagram came over and said hello. I spoke roughly about 35, 40 minutes in a 15-minute slot with a ton of Q&A. Really liked it.
was
Really
good.
nice to be back out speaking again. It was better than the talk I did in Abu Dhabi, which was like a bit rushed and a bit hectic. So yeah, really big shout out to those guys, and so much interest when it comes to making content. I really thought that by now we would be completely out of this content game. Like I thought everybody would have it figured out, but people still need to know where to start.
And we spoke about it in the car just 24 hours before, going, okay, well, look, a lot of people ask, where do I start? And people want to do it. People just don't know how to. And I think that's a common question in a lot of things, but content is this scary place for a lot of people when it doesn't need to be, but it is a scary place for a lot of people because you're putting yourself out there.
So this event was a free event that I spoke at, and what's amazing about free events is that I don't get too excited about. I get more excited about speaking at events for free because Greg's a friend of ours, versus speaking at paid ones, because at free ones I feel like I always give a little bit more. Like I always go to, because it's like you want to try out new bits because you know that you're not getting paid for it, so there's not a particular like byline that you've got to stick to editorially. And so I said some stuff, and of the things that I said, a lot of it influenced the rejig of the 4Ps that we're doing at the moment, in terms of like where do you start. And so a big part of the 4Ps is going to be talking about how do you do long form content and how do you do short form content. I think everything else exists in between. But this week, Instagram's CEO came out and said that they're moving Reels over to Facebook as part of leaning into the trend of short form video. So we basically have figured out now that of all of the lengths of videos, short form is one. And we've now gone back to the beginning of television advertising, where the sweet spot is 15, 30, or 60-second slots, all of which are encompassed in Reels. Also this week as well on my Instagram, I put out some incredible content, but anything that went on IGTV, i.e. it was more than 1 minute, from a quantitative point of view, did not perform as well as Reels. And so I think for us, a big part of the 4Ps now is formally inviting and introducing short form content as part of our syllabus, because long form we know how to do really well, video podcasts and stripping out micros and things like that, and then that's kind of where it stops. But I think now we're going to have to start doing short form strategies. Short form strategies
are important, and I think the attention of people, because it's not just the attention, it's just the vast amount of content that's out there that you just need to be able to capture people's attention very quickly. Once you've done that a number of times, they can then graduate to longer form content should they wish to, or if you provide it.
Yeah, it was real good. What did I tell you to write down the other day? Conflict of attention or conflict of interest, or there's something so I'll speak on this real quickly. So obviously when I speak at events, and this is not like aimed at anybody in particular, it's natural. Like when I speak at events, people say, can you share it? Can you post about it? But as a general rule, I don't share events, even if I'm speaking at them, and even if I'm being paid to speak at them, I don't share events typically, because I'm so known as an events guy that people will think it's one of my events. And so what I explain to people is, like when I announced Gary coming to speak at Emirates Literature Festival a couple of weeks ago, I literally said in the video, this is not my event. I've not got any hookups to meet Gary. And my DMs still went crazy. When I say crazy, I mean 4 or 5, which is, of the thousands of people that watch the video, that's still a significant amount. That could be, 0.5% or 1% of people that were like, yo, can I get a free ticket? Can I meet him? I'm like, I've literally, and in the video I put the siren from the top of a police car on when I'm saying, this is not my event. And so anybody who wants to book me for an event, super always open to hearing about events, but the promo, me promoting it, doesn't necessarily come with it. It does in certain circumstances, but it's the exception rather than the norm, because we're always pumping our own events. So we can't be pumping other people's events, not because it's not good for us or the event, but it just can confuses people.
What did he say?
It's on my computer.
Oh, okay.
I don't have it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, okay. So there was something like that, and also, there was some real gems dropped on that day. So yeah, I'm looking forward to going over that footage. And for those of you following me on social media, you'll get a whole bunch of like best bits from that. We might even put out the whole long form bit as well.
We should.
The whole long form is probably worth exploring and putting it out.
I think so.
And the Q&A as well, because that was really good. The Q&A, the audience was really engaged, and they asked some really strong questions, which you don't always get. But they were smart, they were intelligent people, and they just asked really good questions.
Yeah. Next.
We recorded with Tahir this week.
Yes, on this very table.
Yeah.
GBS. But in this very apartment, we recorded a long-form interview with Tahir Majithia, at Tahir Majithia. Let's throw his name up on the screen and throw him in the show notes as well. One of our most successful clients to date. Super guy, selling millions and millions of dirhams of real estate using social media. We've produced a couple of native media formats for him. One is the Dubai Real Estate Podcast. The other was Dubai Real Estate Masterclass. Both did incredibly well on YouTube and on the streaming platforms. And so, much like the John Howell interview, which is earlier in this podcast feed, which you can see now on the podcast feed as well as on YouTube, it's a deep dive and a real deconstruction of some of the moves that our clients have made. And what I loved about that, firstly, I respect Tahir a lot because he works so hard. But secondly, we really captured the full duplex sharing of information where your client comes back and explains what they did and then teaches us stuff as well. So it's not dissimilar to like talking to Gary, where you see us learning or you see me learning. That happened as well with Tahir. What were your favorite bits from that interview if you were to get people hyped about it?
So let me start by saying this. I think his work ethic is outstanding, and he just put everything into his content. So that's really, admirable. The favorite bits at the whole episode. So he was talking a lot about the approach and the attitude to content more than kind of the content itself. And I think that's really important, because a lot of people that we know, that we've seen, they'll stop. They'll like 3 episodes in, or 3 videos in, or 1 post a month, or whatever it might be, whatever variation of that it is, they'll do that and expect results. He went in going, I need to go all in and not expect results. And I'm just going to keep going. And he just kept getting wins along the way, small wins, bigger wins. And that just gave him the confidence to keep going and to keep investing in it. And then you can see the results. Now he's getting results from a sales point of view, but also indirect results, like, getting more popular with the other real estate agents in the city that come to him for advice. And a direct ROI of that, although that's an indirect one, the direct ROI of that is very simple. When he needs a property that he can't source, he can call any one of these guys up, because he's shown that he's trustworthy, he's knowledgeable, he's experienced, and he's helped them out with advice and things like that. And he's done everything that he needs to do to build those relationships.
Yeah, because deal sharing is very common.
Yeah.
So him becoming big amongst his competition is also good, because then they know that if they can't sell something, or they've got something that they've committed to selling and they can access to his audience. What was your favorite bit of that?
I think it was really interesting, especially since I wasn't here, learning about how he came into this at the very beginning, in the middle of COVID, literally, which is interesting just because the world's completely changed by then. So, yeah. And
what I also thought for my answer to that question is that he made a deal and he took that whole money and flipped it, which is like a classic hustler move, which is like, I've come up. It might have been a deal that, who knows, I can't speak on his behalf. It might have been a deal that he was like, if it comes through, if it does, if it doesn't, it doesn't. And it might have been just enough money for him to invest in the 4-piece program with us and then see where it goes. Yeah. So I really like that. I could really resonate with that, because sometimes you come up and you get some money and you're like, I didn't really budget for making this money, and I don't necessarily have a part of the business to allocate it. So why not take it as a punt? So superb interview coming up with Tahir. He doesn't do much in the way of interviews. He's not done many interviews as a creator, but if you literally want to hear about what a year or a year and a half in our agency is like, torn down, move for move, success for success, you should check out the Tahir Majithia on Raj Kotecha Show, which will be out within a couple of episodes of this one. Okay, next.
Geeks in a Bar.
Oh yeah, shout out to Enhanced Ventures, Ritesh and Alpa and the whole crew. They own a bunch of businesses here in the city, the most popular being Joy Gifts. Yeah. And so if you live in Dubai, you probably see Joy Gifts vans moving up and down the city all the time. They deliver like same day or next day singing telegrams. They do flowers, cakes. They just do a bunch of cool stuff. They've just moved into the NFT space as well, so you can gift NFTs. And they every so often do invite-only kind of drinks and get-togethers. Very similar to our private dining room sessions, but their version of it. And I was invited. I said, I don't know why. I don't know, maybe the last one I didn't tell you about it, or you were here, or you were busy or something. But
you did tell me about it, but I was just busy.
So I was like, yo, Ritesh, I'm bringing Vik. Is that cool? He was like, absolutely. He's super welcome. And then you came along, and what were your first thoughts?
So my first thoughts were just a room full of great people.
Really, honestly, right?
Yeah, like genuinely. So I've been out of the kind of networking game for a little while. It's not new to me, but I've kind of been on the back shelf with it. So it's nice to be out. You even said to me, is it nice to be out again? I was like, yeah. And anyone that you met there was achieving something, was about something, was doing something, with substance. It's not like, oh yeah, I'm thinking about starting this and maybe I might do that, but I don't know. And that's cool as well, because people are at different points in their journey, and super respect anyone that's trying to start something. But in that room, you're going to have a good conversation. You're going to learn something. And I learned a bunch of stuff. We spoke about Notion, and you introduced me to a guy who works on Notion exclusively for his VC business. And he gave me 2 things. One that supported what I'm doing already on Notion, and one that was something completely new. But so learn something and support is something that I'm doing. And then, you know, just met a bunch of really good people. So that's the biggest thing for me, is when I walk into a room where there's like networking is a key part of the event, I want to be able to come away with something meaningful. A lot of that comes down to me, but a lot of it comes down to the people in the room.
Yeah, one thing I tell people when they first move to the city, and not that you have, but there's aspects of your move to Dubai that are adjacent to a first mover to the city, is that for the first year, just say yes to everything, every brunch, every coffee, and then you adjust based on your circumstances, family, wife, kids, working hours that are in other markets but being based in Dubai. But what was interesting about that is that it was so quick that there was like trickle down momentum, right? So we met this one cat, was his name Gary? Yeah, who does Taco Tuesdays.
Taco Stars, yeah.
Taco Stars, yeah. So like, that was so dope that we were at that event and he was like, I said to him, oh, you know, you guys should, I don't remember what I said, but he was like, oh, me and Vik are doing tequilas tomorrow. I was like, oh, like, this is dope. Like, what's going on? And he'd arranged for, you know, at his event, you pay a couple of $100 dirhams or maybe more, maybe less, whatever. And you get like unlimited free drinks and possibly tacos. I didn't get a chance to check out all the details, but like meeting, when two community members meet at another community members, like at another community organizers. Okay, let me say that again. When two community organizers meet at another community organizers thing, what happens is you go to one event, then you end up getting invited to another. And guaranteed that if we'd gone to Gary's event, we'd have met some other people. I know we wanted to, but something was...
No, we had the other talk.
Yeah.
Oh, I was speaking. Okay, yeah. Otherwise, we'd have 100% come down to that. So shout out to Gary, cool cat. Backstory with him is I actually saw him talking about crypto in a lobby in the Address Beach Resort. Yeah, shout out to our friends over at Address Beach Resort. We were over there looking at a deal, and he was one of the only people at the time that I'd heard in the city talking about crypto. He's American, so his voice is naturally a little bit louder. And I overheard it, and I was like, I don't know what it is, but I just remembered his face. I think it was because I was going to go over and talk to him. I'd be like, hey, listen, I've not heard anybody else talking about crypto in the city. I'm Raj, what's up? But I didn't on that particular day. But I did remember his face, and I saw him at Ritesh's thing. So shout out to Ritesh for always inviting us to his cool events. Even when you go to like his birthday and stuff, you always meet some cool cats. So
Ritesh
shout out to him. Yeah,
Ritesh
at Ritesh on Instagram. He's got the best Instagram you could get.
Handle, yeah, he's great. He's smart. He's, you know, doing his thing, and he's like always hustling, always busy, always out doing something.
Yeah,
just a great guy.
He's in the streets. He belongs to the streets.
Belongs to the streets. Cool. Oh yeah, Sonal's interview.
Yeah, so she's not really pumping it. I think we should.
Yeah.
So my little sister Sonal Kotecha at Rumah Interiors, which is RUMAH Interiors, just dropped a new interview on the Wood Couture YouTube channel. So WOODCOUTURE. Dope interview. She doesn't do as much press as I do. She's not really as public or as vocal as I am, but very, very good interview. I remember we were in the room when it was recorded.
Yeah.
I remember thinking there's so many parallels in her answers and my answers. So a really, really good interview. If you're into interior design, if you're on your interior design journey, you want to become one, or of course, if you're looking for one, then that's a great interview. And if you're in the industry as well, she drops a lot of like forward-thinking gems there about like people. She was asked what does she think is going to be one of the trends moving forward, and she said as the world opens up, people who have second or third homes or family homes are now making them versatile so that they can live in them because it's like a summer home. But the day that they leave, it can easily be converted into an Airbnb, so it's not just sat there earning no money. So she speaks about that. So landlords, property developers, interior designers, absolutely recommend that. We need to link that up in the show notes as well.
I'll put it up.
Yeah, it's smart, it's fluid, and it's natural. And I was really impressed by the way she conducted herself in the interview. And the thing about Sonal is that not only is she talented, okay, she's family, so I'm maybe a bit biased, but super talented, but she's been consumed by interior design basically her whole life. But since moving to Dubai, we've seen it like just accelerate at some other level.
Yeah.
And all she does is like think about interior design and spaces and designing spaces.
Yeah.
So when she's talking about her background, the way she approaches design, the future of design, the way she sees it, is polished because she's thought about it so much that she's not like going, oh, how do I answer this? It's like, no, I know exactly what I'm thinking.
Yeah, yeah. It's very, very, very surreal for me to see. Yeah, also, she's just handed over a second property in the Burj Khalifa as well, one of the penthouses there. So she opens up a little bit about that. So that's a content recommendation. Go check it out. Even if you're not into interior design, it's the way that Wood Couture do it, Filippo and the guys over there, they do it at a level whereby if you're industry, you hear industry stuff. But if you're not industry, you can also just get into it just as a mainstream piece of content. So shout out to Wood Couture. amazing guys. They did all the furniture. Well, they did furniture in huge parts of the SLS here in Dubai, which is a key lifestyle hotel, and the Ward of Astoria, which is a premium luxury hotel. So if you're ever in there and you're hanging out in the lobbies or whatever, you're sat on their furniture. And if you need furniture, then give us a shout and we'll connect you to them.
Okay, and the final point is the Amongst Few barbecue.
Man, the Amongst Few barbecue was good.
Amazing.
That event was rammed. That had like incredibly good people there. A lot of good artists, a lot of people from around the world. There was a very famous music artist upstairs in the studio. I don't want to like snitch and say who it was, but he was upstairs the whole way through the barbecue. So shout out to the team over there. He was in the studio, and some people saw him on the way leaving. So it's like, I'm sure it's kind of words got around the city who it was, but I'm not going to say it. And yeah, it was an incredible barbecue. You came along.
I did. Brought my wife and my kid, Shirley and Ine, and they had a great time. Ine was in his element because he loves Amongst Few anyway, because he loves like all the trainers and like the cool vibe. And he was out. I mean, I didn't see him for half the day because either he was with you, like meeting some people, or I introduced him to a few people, or he was just out on his own, just going out and just talking to people, like just cool people. He gets a lot of energy from creatives and that. So he had a great time. I had a great time. Shayla did. And the cauliflower bites were amazing.
Man, that's what my dad said.
Your dad was there.
Yeah.
He had the cauliflower.
Yeah, he said
The
it was
cauliflower
amazing.
was really
Yeah.
special.
Food was all
man.
great.
They could sell bowls of that cauliflower for like 40 to 50 dirhams just for like a cereal bowl's
Really?
worth. It's so tasty.
Is that good?
It's that good.
I missed out.
Yeah, it's not even. I think, yeah, I mean that dish is incredible. That was so popular as well. Anybody was there, but also, and I know I'm going to forget people. I shouldn't even open this kind of worms, but just shout out to all the friends that we met there. Like, it's such a good community. For me, it's close to like being my friends, your friends, but without, being the center point of it. So shout out to Stefan Lamar that was in the house. Megatronic was in the house. Obviously, all the team that work at Amongst Few. D-Jock was in the house, looking incredible. Like she is just a full catwalk. She's a whole catwalk by herself. Parv Bar I've not seen for ages, so it was nice to see her as well. And
Sal was out,
Yeah, Sal was out. Shout out to your dad.
Yeah.
And Paula. So that was dope. Yeah, Daniel and
good,
Paula.
man. It was good.
Risha and Rita, the two sisters, love them. Just so many good people, really.
Varsha was there.
Who was there? Yeah, Varsha Vin came out with her friend, looking like, again, they just look like some of those like anime characters. They look like they were like very bright and bold. So
Well, she was wearing an anime T-shirt, and Ine was
was
like,
she?
yeah, her and Ine were like getting into like which is your favorite character and stuff.
Yeah,
It was pretty
yeah.
cool.
No, shout. There's some cool ass people there. There's always like cool people there. And Joe, who came to Taste Bud, she was there with her crew. So yeah, big up to everybody who came to the Amongst Few barbecue. I really love that. There are rumors that there might be another one before the end of the year.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
So let's see what happens with that. So yeah, it was really, really superb. It's a place that I feel like if you've got friends that live in Dubai, as opposed to people that have visited Dubai, people that have visited Dubai, they might say like, make sure you hit Burj Khalifa, make sure you hit this. But I think if you live in Dubai, Amongst Few's in the conversation of places that you would actually go, and you should be like, look, you should go check out this cafe. It's pretty
It's
cool.
nice. Yeah.
So yeah, that was good. Anything else for this week?
That's it.
That's it.
Anything that's off the agenda? Okay, so let's think about what else has happened this week.
Okay, so what about an update on the 4Ps?
Yeah, 4Ps, again, an incredible week to work on the 4Ps. We've, I was just saying this to my friend this morning when we went on a walk. Yesterday's exercise, I did like a me day, which was all focused on the 4Ps. The idea behind that was to not do any client work in the morning and just start the day thinking about the 4Ps and then hold on to that thought as long as I could. And I did, right until they threw me out of Raw Coffee, which is Raw Coffee's incredible place to get coffee, a place that I like to go work from. So yeah, I was there right until 7 o'clock. I kept extending my parking because I was just in such a flow state. And I was saying that one bit of progress that's been done in the 4Ps, which I hope to share with the public soon, is the equivalent of a one-pager, where of course in reality it's like 3 to 4 pages, but it's just writing up what each of the modules teaches you: plan, produce, publish, and promote, and what you can expect to learn, and what case studies are included. So it's a really, really good insight into what's going to come up with the course. That should hopefully be out in the next couple of days. Like at least the one pager should be out in the next couple of days. So yeah, and the interesting thing about that is that the more you write about what the course does, the more you go back to the course and actually punch up those bits.
Yeah.
Because I know what the impact of the course has been in real life. So I talk about it in the brochure, but then you're like, hang on a second, that case study's not in the course. So let me go and put that case study back in the course. And so it's almost like an infinite loop with 3 nodes in it rather than 2, where it's like what you talk about, what you remember, and what you put in the course are all kind of like being updated at all times. So really, really good. Actually, as soon as this recording's done, I'm looking forward to sharing that with you. I know you heard it yesterday verbally.
I didn't hear it.
And I've written some more, and you've not even read it yet. So I think when you do, especially you, because it's new, I think you'll really like it. Okay, great. So that's it for ALGO this week. A lot going on. There was a lot going on. Actually, it feels like there was more going on, and I'm probably going to miss some bits. It's going to be a natural consequence of doing this show. Thanks to everyone who was listening. Give us a 5-star rating on Spotify and Apple. Review there on Apple as well if you get a chance. And then YouTube, obviously subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. Hit the notification bell so you get these episodes first. This episode, shout out to my boy Mittel, is getting a lot of love. Like the ALGO series is getting a lot of love. It's quick, it's dynamic, it gives everybody a quick update as to what's going on in the week. So I'm really glad that this is connected. It's connected as well as good as the other podcasts have. Coming up next week, we've got releases where we're talking to our friend DJ Rav, who was passing through the city.
Yep.
And anything else on the interview one and the Tahir one. Probably.
Tahir.
Yeah, so a lot more episodes coming out. Thanks for your support. Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Peace.
Peace.